Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about The Feds, and this is published by Dr. Finn Games and designed by Steve Finn himself.
All right, you guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. We would appreciate it. All right, so The Feds. We're basically taking on the role of FBI agents. We're in charge of an FBI team. We're sending in undercover agents. We're sending in surveillance teams. We're sending in field agents, all to catch criminals and confiscate their contraband. Let me show you how to play. All right, here is the setup for The Feds. All right, so we've got kind of our action board there. We have 3 different locations. We have the restaurant, the docks, and the warehouse. We also have a 4th location when we're playing with a 4-player game. And then also we have, each player has their own player board where we can kind of upgrade some actions. We are basically these different groups of federal agents trying to take down the mob. So the first thing we're going to do every turn is we're going to populate the board with either some contraband material, some crates, or some criminals. So we're going to flip over this card. It's going to tell us what items to put and in what location. So in this case, we're putting 1 criminal and 1 crate in the restaurant. We're going to draw a crate out of this bag. And we're going to draw a criminal out of this red bag. Basically, all the different locations are represented in this deck, and different things might come out. So this time we'll say a criminal into the restaurant. I apparently didn't shuffle this very well. 1 crate to the restaurant. Oh my goodness. Okay, this one says put nothing in the warehouse. Oh my goodness, I really didn't shuffle this well. Okay, so this one says put 3 cubes in the docks. So basically at the beginning of every turn, we're going to put out some stuff. That way we have more and more things to catch. Every player is going to have a deck of basically these agent cards, and the agents are going to be used in 3 different ways. Basically, we're going to start the game by just putting something out there. Let's do that. And then for those ones that are face down on the location boards themselves, those are considered surveillance cards. So those are agents that are just doing surveillance. But when you place a new card on a location that already has surveillance, the person that's there is going to move into the field. So off to the right of each location is going to be the field. So let's say, on our turn, after we place this over here, we're going to look at our hand. We have all these different numbers. We have 1, 2s, and 3s all the way to 5s. And we're going to put one out there. Let's say we put a 2. We're going to put it in the restaurant. This is going to move this character out to the 8 to the field, and we're going to flip it over. Oh boy, they had a 5 out there, so that's really strong. Now the third part of our turn is going to be to move this police car along the track. We have a speed marker down here on our player boards. Right now we have a speed of 2, so we can move up to 2 spaces. And so each one of these little squares is its own location, so we can move it, right there. And that is a training space. All these different spots along here can be trained and moved up. So in this case, we can upgrade our switch or our speed. In this case, let's do our speed. Now, next time around, we'll be able to move up to 3 spaces if we want to. So those are the 3 phases of the game. First, we're going to populate the boards. Then we're going to place out an agent. Then we're going to move the police car. So on the next player's turn, they might do something like this. They might put something out here in surveillance. This would kick us out over here. And now, same thing, they take their turn. They are going to, this is also populated, by the way. So one person is going to go out into the restaurant. We'll put that out there. And then let's say they still only have a speed of 2 on their police car. They can move to 2 spots. Let's say they move to the warehouse. So what happens when you go to the warehouse is you're basically going to do a sting operation on this particular location. In this case, they went to the warehouse, so they're going down here. This is a chance to do a sting operation and grab some of these crates that are on that location. You're going to be able to grab up to 3 crates. You're going to be able to have 1 crate. If you have a face-up person like this, you're going to be able to grab another crate if you have a face-down person. That can happen as a result of upgrading your infiltrate special action. So you have a face-down person. You can also get a 3rd cube if, out of all the face-up cards that are showing, you have more strength than everyone else is showing. But you also do have to have competition. So right now, all we have is these 2 green cards. We don't have anybody else out there. So we would need to have another player have their cards out there, and then you have more strength than them. So again, you can get up to 3 crates by having a face-up person, having a face-down person, and by having the most strength, as long as you have at least 1 competitor in that location. So by moving to the infiltrate location, you get to upgrade your infiltrate ability. Now it says, move your agent from the training office to the field face down. So that's how I would be able to maybe move a card from here over to here without flipping it over. Once you use that, however, it is deactivated and you have to start all over again. The next ability is called Transfer. It says you can move an agent to a new location. That can be really strong. Let's say Red has a majority over here. We can use that, and we can move that all the way over here. So that way we've got a better chance of winning some stuff in that category over there. There's also a switch function that allows you to switch some cards. Maybe you need to have a higher strength one over there. You can do that. That's what the switch function's for. Again, you have to upgrade them all the way to the end, and then once you spend them, it goes all the way back to the beginning. The car speed, that can just go up forever, and basically that never goes back down when you use it. More and more cars are going to be put out there. We'll put a card out here. This will kick this one over here. They might put a card out there that kicks us out. And they're there. Eventually, there's going to come a point where we have a bust. So based off the number of players, a bust is going to happen. In a 2-player game, the first bust happens when there's 4 agents out in the field, not including the one in surveillance. So when that happens, we're actually going to raid this location, and we're going to get rid of all the goods. At this point, you flip over any face-down cards, keeping the same order because that does matter. Whoever has the most amount of strength showing, in this case it's red, they have 3 showing, green has 2 showing, they're going to take the first crate. That is theirs. And then from here on out, starting with them again, it kind of rotates around. They can take either a good or a criminal. Let's say they take this criminal, and then everyone else gets in the circle, gets to take whatever's left over, and it keeps on going until its entire location is spent. At the end of the bust, the lowest number from each person gets removed, so that way we don't just have a whole bunch of agents still in that location, because we're going to do a bust again next time there's 5 or more, depending on the player count, on a location. So you don't want it to be the same location again by leaving people out there. So you remove those low ones out there, and that way you can bust again. After 3 busts have taken place, then you do kind of basically one final bust, where you get a chance to kind of basically get one last go at all the locations. And at that point, the game is over. We're going to count up all our crates, we're going to count up all our meeples. It's kind of a set collection thing. There's 3 different colors of crates. There's the white, brown, and gray. For each set of those, you're going to get 5 points. And for each leftover that's not part of a set, it's worth 1 point. For the meeples, for the criminals, same thing. It's kind of a set collection thing. There's 5 different colors of those, however, and so you want to get a set of those. A set of those is worth 15 points. If you only have 4, it's worth 10 points. A set of 3 is worth 6 points. 2 is worth 3, and 1 is worth 1. And if you can get a whole bunch of criminals, boy, that's a whole bunch of points. And also, whatever police car has the highest speed is also going to get 1 point at the end of the game. So after all that, whoever has the most points wins the game. If there is a tie, whoever has the most criminals wins the tie. If you're still tied, the player with the higher speed wins the tie.
So this is a pre-production copy, but I gotta say, I really like how big the cubes were on your board. I just think it's really nice to differentiate from the cubes that are on your boards as opposed to the slightly smaller cubes that are the crates, as opposed to yet the smaller cube that is the round tracker, right? Because there's nothing different about them. I mean, the colors are different, but still you know what that is. And it's such a tiny thing, but I really like the big chunky pieces that I was moving apart because I'm really just a 2-year-old that wants to play with blocks.
Aren't we all? I really enjoyed, using those cubes to upgrade your special abilities. There was such a balance. Should I take a cube, land on a location and take a cube, take one of the crates away from, the location? Or should I upgrade a special ability so I can do some big power move later on? And once you use them, you have to kind of start over again on that track. And upgrading the car, the police car speeds, that way you can go faster and faster and move around the board to exactly where you want to go. All this stuff is very important and a lot of fun to kind of manipulate.
Speaking of manipulation, I really like the specific actions that let you mess with the cards. You know what the other person has because they're the same cards that you have, right? So you know the possibilities, especially after the first bust and there's some things out there and some information is revealed, to try and guess where other people's things are, to try and guess where you can get the majority and just move things around like that. That's it can be really mean, but really fun at the same time.
All right, so like we've talked about, most of our plays are 2-player. I think the 2-player worked really well for this game, and then the 3 and the 4-player market scales up really nicely too. It just adds in another location, adds in more of the crates and the criminals and all that kind of stuff. So you are each player count, everything is balanced nicely. So you have there's basically the same feel, the same experience no matter what. But at 2 players, it does work pretty well.
It doesn't matter, I guess, in the sense of my enjoyment of the game, but the theme really did nothing for the game for me. The theme didn't come across at all for me. I didn't feel
feel like you were actually capturing criminals or something.
Yeah, this was an area majority set collection game, and that's what I felt like it was when I was playing it. I didn't feel like it was
abstracted for you a little bit.
Exactly. Did that whole affect my enjoyment of it? Not one little bit.
I feel like as we get older as gamers, I feel that you see the veil behind a lot of the themes that tends to happen for me as well. But this game I liked. I think, for one thing, I thought it was very, very smooth. Dr. Finn's games typically are very, very smooth between rounds. It's just kind of, you're just flowing and flowing and flowing. Very, very smooth. So I've played a lot of Dr. Finn's games, actually, and I enjoy quite a bit of them. But I will say this one, I think, has the most level of intrigue for me. I think, for whatever reason, this one really, captivated me as far as the hidden cards, the cards that were face up, when you land on a location, how you take cubes, all that just made so much sense to me. And it was, like I said, that level of intrigue of flipping over the cards and that big reveal moment, who has more strength in that particular location. And the set collection as well. I like set collection. And it was 2 different levels of set collection, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So this one, like I said, this is one of my favorite Dr. Finn games.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot, because we've reviewed a lot of them and played a lot of them and enjoyed almost every single one.
Yeah. I liked it too. I agree with everything Ryan said about it just being really smooth. Like, all of his games seem to be really smooth. Like, take away any excess that might be there and get you just the game. And that is great. You get the game. You don't get, like, trying to do these grandiose things, because it's really boiled down to what the game needs to be in order to be fun. And this is no different. I like that in this game you could really help yourself while also hurting other people.
You're so mean. You're just so mean.
I guess so. I guess I am.
It's a big bully. A big federal agent bully.
No, theme isn't a thing. But I really did. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us on Facebook. We're Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we are Ryan Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
You guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.